Good morning, gang. Happy Tuesday morning. All right. So, how reliant do you think we are on the Chinese economy? Pretty much we're stuck, right? I mean, I don't care if it is furniture, clothing, computer parts, auto parts, you name it. Most everything we consume, we buy, is made in China, right? Go through your house and try to find something that's not. You know, look in your suit, look on your shirt, look on your furniture, whatever, and you'll see made in China, made in China, made in China, right? One of the big questions I get all the time is when's our economy going to collapse? We all know it's coming. We're over $34 trillion in debt, yada, 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 right? Let's take a look at China. With as reliant as we are on Chinese products, has anybody paid attention to what's going on in the Chinese economy? I mean, mind you, this China accounts for nearly a quarter of the people on the face of the earth. Give you that as a thought, okay? Nearly 2 billion Chinese out of 8 billion people. Take a look at the Chinese stock market, which is crashing. Think I'm kidding. The Shanghai index, okay, which is pretty much what everybody takes a look at as like looking at the Dow in the United States, okay? Down 25% since Biden's taken office, since January of 2021. Okay. Markets lost a quarter. Let's take a look at the CITIC 300, CITIC. Okay. That's pretty much like their S&P 500. It's the 300 most liquid, largest companies in China. Same time period since January 2021, down 50%. So the first question I'm going to ask you is this. You have a 401k at work, you have an IRA. Do you know what it's invested in? How much exposure do you have to the Chinese market? Probably some. Okay? Something to take a look at. You are putting your retirement, your investments, your savings, whatever, in the hands of Xi Jinping, who's obviously destroying their economy. Because guess what? Communism doesn't work. Not a big surprise. Okay. So we look at how this is going to affect us. And as the Chinese stock market keeps crashing, the Chinese companies keep making less money. Mind you, most of the Chinese companies are controlled by the government anyway. Okay. So, not like governments do a great job of running anything. And eventually, when people don't have to buy something there, they don't. Okay. If we don't have to buy Chinese products, we don't. And that makes the Chinese product or the Chinese companies make less money, which makes them worth less money, which go down the path. So what happens when we don't have the Chinese products in the store anymore? What happens when you can't buy parts for your car, parts for your dishwasher, your refrigerator? Oh, wait a minute, we're already there. Okay. What happens when you can't buy transformers for the electric company? Oh, wait a minute, we're already there. What's going to happen? Remember, the rest of the world still wants to consider China a developing nation, even though they're the world's second largest economy. Okay. The world's largest military, but they're a developing country. Okay. This is where you get into how important our election is. Part of it, okay, at least. Because do you think that China's not going to go up to Joe and say, well, you know what, Joe, we've been giving you a kickback of 10% for years now. It's time you help us. We need to be bailed out. China pulled something today on their stock market. I mean, mind you, it's 5 o'clock in the morning here for me, and it is stock market in Shanghai is open. China put a halt on short selling, meaning you can't sell stock if you don't own it. Try to play the downside of the market. It didn't do any good for the stock market. It didn't hold the market from falling. And what happened shortly after the timeout happened? The market sold off. Okay. China's in trouble. So what happens when an economy's in trouble? What happens when countries are about broke? Oh, I don't know. Why don't you ask Germany in 1939 what they did? Okay, let's take a look at this. All the talk about China going into Taiwan. What's going to happen? Now, that could get very interesting because remember last week, Biden all of a sudden changed 50 years of policy on his own, saying he didn't support Taiwanese independence. Why? You know damn well that the phone has been ringing off the hook in the White House from China going, you need to help us. We need money, yada, 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 yada. And we've been paying you. We want to go into Taiwan, and you're not going to stop us. And Joe's between a rock and a hard place. You know, this is the problem. When you deal with the devil, eventually it comes time to pay the bill. Joe's there. And the problem is, in order to pay the bill, he's going to borrow it from us. Next time you're at the store, take a look at what you're buying and see what's come from China. You know, the latest con that we see, it's been for a couple of years now, is, you know, we used to always see the made in the USA label. Now we're seeing assembled in the USA with Chinese product. We have the opportunity as a country to take back our leadership role, our number one role as the world's largest manufacturer. If somebody would catch a clue. Personally, I'd rather pay more for an American-made product than a piece of Chinese junk. You know, something that lasts till 91 days and then it breaks one day after the warranty runs out. We need to bring manufacturing back. We need to bring jobs back. Okay. We don't need to be telling everybody, hey, I'm sorry you lost your job. You can go make solar panels, because we don't make those here either. You know, unless somebody's planning on losing their job with all these massive layoffs that we're already starting to see. Gee, who saw that coming? Unless you plan on moving to China to go to the solar panel factories, that's not going to happen. Right, Barack Obama? That was your great idea. You know, or learn to code. You know, maybe you can move to Bangladesh or to New Delhi or something like that, because that's where the coding is being done. You want a customer service job? Hey, better move to Pakistan. Okay. We need to bring manufacturing back. We need to bring back the middle class jobs that had a career path to them where people could make a good living. You know, go back to the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, where a family of four could have a modest size house on one income. Okay. Didn't have to have a McMansion. Okay. You look at the houses that they had, 1,1600 square feet. Maybe they were 3-bedroom houses. Okay. Each kid might have had their own bedroom. Mom and dad had a bedroom, and that was it. You know, there might have been one car in the garage. But you know what? That was a lot better life than we have right now, where everybody's moving into apartments and paying $700 on average for a car payment. Okay. That it takes two people in the household to work, 2 jobs apiece, to keep their head above water. When China collapses, and you're seeing all the stories right now of, oh my God, what's going to happen? It's so terrible. Let them fall. Okay. Again, it's something else we don't need. Will we be in trouble for a couple of years because we don't have the production of the products we need? Yes. Okay. There might be some backlog on you're not going to be able to get parts. Okay. I got it. Understand that. Kind of why we all need to be having spare parts for things. Not everything. I mean, you're not going to keep a spare motor for your car out in the garage. Okay? But maybe you have spare brake pads or a filter for your refrigerator, a belt for your washing machine, whatever, things that you can get that are manufactured in China that aren't manufactured here. Maybe you pick up one or two of those. But the way we're going to get this country back is to go back to what made it great in the first place. That we worked, that we had real jobs, real careers, not, gee, I got my degree in Native American dance and now I'm a Starbucks barista. That's not, no. Y'all talk about Mike Rowe. I talk about Mike Rowe every once in a while. Find an electrician, find a plumber. Okay, they ain't cheap. Okay, find a mechanic that works in a garage, and I'm not talking about the regular auto dealer or something like that. Cars where they plug a car into a computer. That's the only way to fix it. Find a guy that can fix one of the older cars, one that runs mechanically, not electronically. Those are the skills and the things that we need to have. Because go pop the hood of your car. Take a look what's underneath. You can't figure out 99% of it. Yeah, you could probably change the oil. You might be able to change the spark plugs or the air filter or something like that. That's about it. But how many guys, at least, maybe there were some girls doing this, how many of you guys remember being teenagers sitting at the kitchen table rebuilding a carburetor? Okay. Or putting one on, or doing something like that, working on your own car. Yeah, we didn't know what the hell we were doing at 16, 17 years old, but we could figure it out. Now you can get somebody from MIT who can't sit there and figure out how the damn car runs. Okay. If you don't have a computer to plug it into, forget it. You can't fix it on your own. Okay. So we need to start looking at getting our own parts, spare parts, secondary, two is one and one is none type things. I mean, again, I'm not saying go out and buy a second dishwasher, a second washer and dryer, but having things that can work as a alternate until you can replace the one you have. When China collapses, which it looks like they are on the verge of doing, they're talking about putting some $275 billion stimulus plan into their economy, okay, to keep the economy going. How long do you think it's going to take the Chinese people to get pissed? Okay, and the government will fight them off. But where will we be? Well, you get problems in China, all of a sudden we're not getting anything. And when we don't get the material, the product, the parts that we need here in the States, we need to have some sort of alternative. And again, we have a snowball effect because if the Chinese economy collapses, which it looks like it's about to, eventually you have the trickle down because of all the manufacturing, and that will drag us down. You can look at this as financial. You can look at this as your day-to-day living, what you do. You can look at this as a social collapse of society, or you can look at this as the onset of another war, none of which I would put in the good column for things I'm looking forward to. But it's time that the United States really pays attention and goes, we need to put America first again. Joe won't do it. Joe will be more than happy to try to help China bail themselves out. Pray to God we only have another year of this moron. Because when finally we get somebody in there who tells China, you're on your effing own, maybe then the world will calm down a little bit and people will go, oh crap, they're not going to come save my ass anymore. I guess we have to do something for ourselves. Pinball out.